Heroes, real life heroes. What is the definition? Often we think of heroes as those who wear capes, those who have superpowers. But in the real world, who are the real heroes? And that is the framework or the people I want to highlight in this episode as we look back on 2025 and we look forward to 2026, or as I like to call it, 2026. So who are the real heroes? And the underlying fundamental statement I want to say is that real heroes don't wear capes. ... So strap in and be prepared for a fun episode as we look at real world heroes that are making waves and changing the lives of people in South Africa. Welcome to Things We Learn on a Monday morning. Hope you enjoy this episode. Cool. So before we jump into what 2026 or 2026 was, I want to look back a little bit at 2025 and hope that this year has been an exciting journey for you. I know for many, it's been challenging. In fact, for all of us, it's been a challenging year. Maybe it didn't start off great. Maybe the plans that you had worked out in your mind for this year has not come to fruition. The grandiose business plans, the expansion plans, the capacity building plans did not come to pass. Maybe it's the relationship that you thought would potentially blossom, grow, but actually came to an end. That may have been 2025. And I know at the beginning of the year, many people have coined this year, including myself, as 2020 Thrive. But maybe that's not been the year for you. I know for me, in some areas, there's been thriving. In fact, some amazing opportunities has popped up out of nowhere. Being able to be a business mentor with the Business Innovation Program with AFDA and seeing amazing thriving businesses come to the fore, and me and a fellow business mentor helping budding businesses or business owners, entrepreneurs on that journey and helping them thrive in that space, and seeing them complete their degree at the end of the year has just been, for me, a beautiful experience. Being able to engage with fellow micro business owners at the Business Innovation sort of tech talks thing that the Western Cape government had, and seeing amazing thriving business owners having to navigate AI and deal with tech to further grow their business. And it's being in those spaces which I never thought I would be engaging in this year. Having amazing podcast guests on my podcast this year, particularly the overseas kind, that's also navigating tech. Has been fantastic, and also having amazing clients diving into the podcasting space and the communication space. So that's been an amazing experience for this year, and I think it's just important to see how there were some moments where this year surprised me, but there's also opportunities where things just had to die down. Certain elements of my business had to shift and pivot, and certain business relationships had to run its course, and so that's done. 2020 Thrive has just been, I guess, 2020 Survive in some aspects, not in all aspects. And as a husband, supporting my wife in her business endeavors and her studies this year, having to basically run the household for the past 6 months, just everything from, I'm trained in cleaning and running the household, but this was full scale, providing space for her to focus on her studies. And as of the time of this recording, the next day, tomorrow, so this won't be out by the time she accepts the certificate of completion and all of the amazing achievements of this particular course that she had to do through WITS. So providing space for that has just been an immense challenge and a journey. Leading a ministry at church, the Creative Arts Ministry, the different aspects of what that entails, and when you lead a ministry of 40, 50 plus people, it's actually about the people, not necessarily about the execution and the techniques or the processes, but it's actually how the people find themselves and thrive in a particular ecosystem. And coming to this end of the year, how people sometimes just fall flat. But that's just the way life is. That was 2025 or 2020 Thrive. When I look at 2026, there's a stark reminder of how we need to build well to finish strong. But over and above that, it's just been a case of how it's easy for people to paint a picture of who you are for other people, and the expectations of what that picture that's being painted forces you to show up in a particular way. So either way, that picture can be completely false, or at least partially true, but a narrative has been spoken about you without your agency or your voice being in there to, I guess, curate it. And such is the dilemma we face as South Africans. We had G20 this year. We have people, I think, interesting actors. I won't say bad actors, but people with genuine concerns, but also false narratives about who we are as a nation and persecution in our nation. And it's being framed to the world stage in a particular way, which is not entirely true. And that's what is potentially harming to us and harming the thriving aspect of what we're doing as a nation, as a budding, growing nation. So I believe 2026, looking forward to 2026, this is the challenge that we have to face. What has been broken and destroyed, or at least injured, I guess, by poor narratives, failure to show up in 2025 will be fixed in 2026. And that's what I want to encourage you to listen to today. As you look forward to 2026, though that which did not work this year should not be a reason for you to stop living, stop working. Stop working at your craft, stop working at your life, at your relationships, at your connections, because what we work on in 2026 will provide a nice platform for 2027. So 2026 is going to be a difficult year. It's going to be a year of hard graft, hard work in shifting a narrative, in changing and building a foundation for the future, for beyond 2026. So yes, buckle up. It's coming. And I think the best way I could pitch it to you in hard work is the idea of a hero. What is a hero? And these are 4 stories which I want to present to you of people who found a way to solve a problem or address a problem in innovative ways, whether it be personal challenges that has been inflicted on them or the environments and the communities they find themselves in. They were tired of seeing something which was not working and found a way to help others overcome that which was stopping them from thriving. So the first story, or the first nugget, and my goal in telling these stories is that you walk away with a nugget, a call to action, something that you could apply to your life that will shift and change your space. Number 1, build something that cannot break when you break. And this is a powerful story about Unita. She has a fantastic and amazing story, and she's the founder of the Digital Dealmakers Academy. This is a fantastic digital academy which she helps businesses and entities develop a strong, functioning digital footprint that will help put your business front and center to the spaces in which you want it to obviously show up. And Unita's amazing story, she, a world-renowned speaker, in fact, built multi-million rand business, but suffered a stroke. And as a result of the stroke, she lost her ability to speak, obviously lost her businesses because she couldn't speak, she couldn't show up in those spaces, but her business was built around her. She had a staff which she had to let go, and for 2 years she had to build into a business, living off the reserves, shift her business to build something which is beyond herself. So she looked at AI, she looked at technologies to find a way to position businesses, build platforms, build processes that goes beyond you. So when you break down, the business still continues. Because how much do you know as business owners or as micro business owners, if you get sick, the business stops. That is not a viable business. That does not make sense. And she had a real world example of her health stopping her from working, which resulted in the business stopping. So you need to think about businesses. And in fact, if you look at a organization, this is the Digital Dealmakers Academy. You can check it out. A fascinating business. That's, if I open up this picture quickly, that is in the red over there. But a fascinating individual, and it was so amazing hearing her story and how she's able to help other businesses build beyond themselves. So build something that won't break when you break. So, call to action. Let's do an action. Find one thing this week that you do manually that you could automate. Whether it be finding systems that could answer your emails for you, or certain part of your business workflow that you could automate and use AI or use certain technologies to do that for you. Yeah, build beyond yourself. Secondly, create the path you wish existed. So this is a fantastic journey. Oh my goodness, I was so impressed by this. This is Zolto. I call it Zolto, but it's Zlato as they call it. This is a fascinating business which Alan van der Meulen presented. My goodness, a fascinating young individual who, in part of his story, he had a 50,000 rand learning curve. But Zlato is a business which helps young people, in particular, show up well. Now, Alan hails from the Cape Flats from Mitchells Plain, and he was tired of seeing young people, in particular, struggle to find work. As we know, we have a high unemployment rate, and it costs over, I think it's 1.5 or 1,500 or 1,200 rand per month for people to actively find work. So that's out of a budget of which is already slim pickings, of which a young person has to ask a parent, of which they actually don't have. So what they do is they can't find the money, they have to resort to crime to find the money. And now that they're in the cycle of crime, they're earning money, they cannot get out of it. So how do you help young people find resources in order for them to find work? And this is what Zlato. Zlato uses blockchain technology to increase engagement among youth, tracking positive behavior via live dashboards, and encourage certain behavior through innovative reward systems.
Growing up on the Cape Flats, youth unemployment is a huge problem. Many people feel like they have no choice and get stuck in the belief that there is no alternative. And for a long time, that's what I thought. Sometimes you just need a new perspective to shape the way you think.
I have the privilege of being here today, okay, with you guys. And I always believe that we actually a very privileged community. Us being from the Cape Flats. We've got the privilege of suffering. And the reason I'm saying we got the privilege of suffering is because when we suffer, we learn to overcome. So they literally tell us, you know, that youth unemployment over 50%, and youth are lazy, they don't want to work. And all of you traveled from your homes to just be here today because you want to work. And that's the reason that we introduced Zlato. So a young person can go out and volunteer, which many of you have in your community. And because you guys are earning Zlato, you can now buy things that you need.
Since Zlato is a web app, it removes many barriers for our users, making it easy to access on entry-level smartphones.
How are you doing today? You good? I'm well.
When I got pregnant, I had to leave my old job. I couldn't find work and I didn't know what to do.
Hello, Frida. Hello, Maisy.
Zlato helped me find something new that's much better fit for me. With the points I earn, I can now provide for my family while building a career for myself.
So as you can see, I mean, you can watch the rest of the video on the website, but it's a fantastic story of, and he said it so nicely, that's Alan, by the way, that we have the privilege of poverty, of challenges. And also the privilege of it is not that we should accept it, but more it is an opportunity for us to be resilient. And out of resilience comes innovation, and out of innovation comes thriving. And Alan is that story. So a need to navigate unemployment and answer it by providing a space for people to earn money and survive and no longer do crime. My goodness. So, call to action. Identify one barrier this week that's in your community or in your family or in your business that we face. And ask yourself, what can I do to change it? What can I do to address and help people overcome that barrier? Number 3, turn your expertise into access. Now, this is something which I fully align with. This is what I do with my business, my podcast business, is aligning your expertise or turning your expertise into access. So this is a fantastic story by Dr. Chanel Martinezson and through her business, Inno Health. The Inno Health clinics is still, there's still a face-to-face clinic which people then go to, but there's a technological side to it, which is the app. My goodness, so this is a fantastic initiative which helped obviously during COVID, but it's now further, this helps even more so now with long lines at clinics where now people can actually have a consult from the comfort of their own home, or for those people that cannot make it to clinics or sit in the long lines. And this is a fantastic initiative. She's just a fantastic person, because hearing her speak and hearing how she's also partnered, Inner Health is also partnered with Zlato, so providing high quality healthcare to people who cannot afford it. So this is a fantastic, and by the way, Dr. Martinezson also hails from the Cape Flats, from Bonteheuwel. So she's someone who understands access, or the lack of access, and what it does, how it affects the community, and this is how she's provided. So their services like primary care, child care, walk-in care, chronic care, physiotherapy, mental health, it covers the entire diagnosis spectrum, or the gambit as I would call it. But it is fantastic. And by the way, that is Dr. Chanel on the far side. And the cool thing about Dr. Chanel is that it speaks about this motto of expertise. Expertise is a gift, only if you can share it. Otherwise, it's just you sitting with the seed of knowledge for everyone to glean from, I guess. But knowledge isn't just about you, isn't just for you, it's for others to experience it, or to also be shared with others, to be empowered. And she empowers people. And it's fantastic. So that's call to action. I think it's cool. Find a skill set that you have, the plethora of skill set, and find a person or people group that you're able to mentor and share your skills with them. Whether it be within your family, whether it be within your circle of friends, doesn't matter. Find a space where you can share your skill and journey with people, incapacitating them. If you have a skill set that would benefit the world, one, you can turn it into a business for you to obviously be remunerated, but also provide a space to empower others. And so what I do as a business often is I get to share, particularly with budding podcasters, is to share concepts and ideas on how to streamline your podcast journey, storytelling aspects of podcasting. That's all I get to share with budding. I get to talk to a lot of budding podcasters and help empower people. And even with my clients, I give more than just what I quote for, and empower them to do something for themselves that I wouldn't have to cost for. But if they also cannot do it, I sometimes do it for free. But I believe in empowering and being a resource. So when people work with you, then now they feel when they work with you, not necessarily what you're taking from them. So access. This is the last story. This is the last superhero story. And this one, for me also, it's just been a fantastic experience. Or I was so empowered by this gentleman. And I happened to do some research prior to me seeing him at the conference or the workshop. And this particular nugget I want to share with you is make everyday life easier. Make everyday life easier. And this is with Imtiaz Riley, the co-founder of Loop. Now, this is a fascinating story. So Imtiaz and his group and his cohort saw the need to tackle, I don't know if you've ever traveled taxi. I know I used to travel taxi a lot, traveling in taxi. And the challenge was always finding the right amount of money to pay for it. So because the changing will be a pain. And if you don't have money, finding an ATM to find, to draw the money to then travel. But also it was time of when you're gonna get the taxi. You need to be at a place at a particular time, and the frequency of a taxi in peak and in non-peak hours, you couldn't judge that. But also, like I said, it is the safety aspect of paying online. And that's for me as a young person. I'm okay with technology, but the older people who are just scared of technology. And Loop is the answer. Yes, Loop is the answer. So they found a way to onboard the older generation with an app. It's a safe way in which I don't have to go to the ATM and deal with withdrawing money and the safety aspect of that, or frequency of finding an ATM. But I can use this app or this particular software to pay for my journey, for my ride online. It's linked to my bank, so I'm able to pay just like that. Also, I'm able to track taxis of where they are So I know exactly how long it will take for the next taxi to come. And it is fascinating story. And I do encourage you, there is a video on YouTube for you to check out India's story, where he talks about his mom and how she every payday she used to send her kids or send the family to go withdraw money at 12:01, throw all the money out, so she could then use, because she believes in cash, and just use cash to pay for all aspects of life. And this is an old mindset that technology is a problem, and technology, someone's stealing your money, whereas this, my goodness, is fantastic. And so Loop, they're on a mission to bring minibus taxi operators into the 21st century by harnessing the power of technology to make taxi trips seamless, convenient, and safe. Their mission, or their vision as a team, is driven by fundamentally reimagining transport in South Africa, improving daily transport for 4 million riders and more than 400,000 taxi drivers. And it is just, for me, it's, yeah. So what you can do is that you can save costs by opting to share commutes, coordinate effective collection and drop-off with your team, customize your route for any group size or destination, reduce time and stress of coordinating with individual trips, enjoy safe, punctual, professional, reliable transport. So in other words, you can book and connect, do a group booking with a taxi, and the taxi driver knows that X amount of people's coming on and it's being paid for and it's into the bank account. It is, if I had it when I was traveling with a taxi, I definitely would use it. But Imti has a story. I do encourage you to go check him out. And so Loop for Business. So there's Loop for Me, Loop for Business. That's what I was talking about earlier. If you're having a business, you're able to coordinate that. But Loop for the individual, you can book your routes, comfortable minibus taxi drivers, so that their names are there, so they know who they are, not just a scary unknown person. You can customize the routes and schedule, and you can obviously book. It's almost like a Uber, but a more professional group Uber, I guess, in some aspects about it. But also, as a driver, you can also onboard yourself onto Loop as well. But I think it's a fantastic initiative. So they dealt with the overwhelm for the older generation about technology, being scared of technology, but also the safety aspect for people and the unknown of whether I'm going to get to my destination on time or whether there is someone to drive. And this is a fantastic way to deal with it. So call to action. Look at your daily routine and find an opportunity, a way in which you can make that routine better for those around you. So whether you come into contact with people that you travel with, maybe find a way to make their lives a bit easier, maybe coordinate it as a group travel, or maybe share traveling schedules ahead of time, maybe do, like I said, travel together. There's many ways in which you can make life a bit easier. Maybe find a point of friction in your day with your community and find a way to make that friction less friction. Find a way to make people's lives a little easier. For everyday heroes, no capes, no pomp and ceremony, just everyday South Africans making the lives of those around them better. 2026, looking forward. We are not people of problems, we are people of promise. We are resilient people as South Africans. And true to form, 2026 is going to be a challenging year. And that's not to cause doom and gloom on your life, but it's a year in which we're going to work hard to build processes and build aspects into our lives which will build a foundation for 2027. We're going to fix broken relationships. We're going to fix things that was destroyed by our foolish decisions, but also the ill-advised, uninformed opinions of others. We're going to build 2026 for a great South Africa, but also for you and I as human beings, as individuals in this space, wherever you find yourself on the planet. The noise around the world will get bigger, but our foundations will get stronger and deeper. We will build and we'll fix for 2026. As you look forward to 2026, look at things that didn't work. Do some self-reflection. I know I will, and I am doing it. Why didn't this work? Why didn't that business relationship work? Why did that business process break down? What can I do to make it better? What can I do to streamline it, to make it efficient and build beyond myself? How can I create a path I wish existed? How can I turn my expertise into access? And then lastly, how can I make the everyday life easier? So thank you for listening to Things We Learn on a Monday Morning. 2025 has been a fantastic year. I'm extremely grateful for those who have listened to this podcast. It's going far and wide. And for those that have, the amazing guest has been on the podcast, you have been an invaluable aspect to my journey, to my life, and this podcast. Your wealth of knowledge and depth has just increased my space and my world and deepened my understanding of this world. And may 2026 be even more of a deep, insightful journey. I'm hoping to have more exciting guests, maybe some of these people that I've mentioned as guests on the podcast, just to hear their story in full. Real heroes don't wear capes. They wear resilience, they wear purpose, and they wear the unshakable belief that tomorrow will be better. Until next year, ciao for now.